So in our last blog, we talked about avidya, or ignorance, as one of the obstacles to our achieving the state of yoga. And today I want to talk about the second obstacle, which is asmita, which is also known as the ego. So the ego self that we've created over many years and done our best to protect, building this little cocoon around ourselves and identifying as whoever we are, the parent, the child, the sibling, the worker. I mean, there are all different ways that we identify ourselves and begin to insulate ourselves from the rest of the world. And while it's fine and it's great to have some sense of who you are in this world and how you function in this world, the difficulty arises when there's such attachment to the ego that it's to the exclusion of everything else. And so very often we can find ourselves trapped in this need to keep reinforcing the ego, reinforcing our desires, reinforcing our cravings, and constantly trying to make sure that everything in the world conforms to our vision of ourselves and who we should be and what we want in our lives. And so in yoga, what we try to do is let go of the ego a little bit and begin to feel your connection to everyone and everything around you and to your true self. So letting go of the small self and connecting with this bigger self, this bigger picture. So if you have questions about when the ego is really hitting in and kicking in, one way to do it is just to take a little step back and look at what the action is and what the thought is in your mind. So let's go through a couple of quick examples. Take, for example, when you find yourself complaining, right? When life isn't playing out exactly the way you intended it to be, exactly the way that you expected it to be. It might even be something as simple as the weather. You wake up and expected or wanted a sunny day, and today it's cloudy and rainy. So what do you do with that? You know, how do you relate to that? Can you just let it go rather than feeling like, poor me, and I don't have the day that I want and the way that I want it? So we begin to notice in these different patterns how we attach to the ego. Another way that we attach to the ego is through our comparison, our criticism, and our judgment, whether it's of ourselves or of other people. So whenever we find ourselves putting ourselves down or putting others down or jumping to conclusions or letting our prejudices take over, it's all the play of the ego. So over the next week, keep note of when that happens to you. Notice when the ego arises and rears its head, and notice if you can just let it go. Notice if you can let go of the need to always be right in a conversation. Notice if you can let go of the need to have the last word. And just keep working with it over time. And the more you shine your awareness on the workings of the ego, the more the ego will lose its grip, and the more you'll be able to connect in this state of yoga. Thank you, and I look forward to our next video blog.